how many different pathways are available for IT students or their partners to achieve PR?
To categorize and to be very precise, have sort of allocated in three categories:
Great.
A, B, and C. So A is like it's a general skill migration. For example, you probably know what is 189 visa, what is 190 visa, and what is 491 visa, right? So these are the pathway way. As long as you have a skills, you have a degrees, you have a skill assessment, and you have a certain number of points, you're definitely gonna get your invitation and apply for residency. This is you do on your own, on your merit basis. You don't need any employer, you don't need anyone's support, So this is purely merit basis. Networking, but software engineer, programmer, system analyst, business analyst, these kind of occupations are definitely on that list. That means you gain the permanent residency access directly.
In what criteria they choose to nominate whom they want to nominate?
Let's say you are a software engineer and you living in the regional area of New South Wales. Let's say you're living in Newcastle and you're working as a software developer. That means you meet that criteria for the government. What they require is, let's say, living in New South Wales regional area for the last 6 months, working in the nominated occupation, means your occupation for last 6 months. That means you meet the eligibility. Based on that, you get nominated by the government, and then you be invited.
Hey guys, welcome to the another episode of the Diary of a Developer. Today is the special episode because today we are talking about not only building the career for IT students, but also thinking about how to build better PR pathway in Australia. So if you are in Australia studying IT, we can of course focus in IT since that's where I belongs to. I have brought a expert in migration to answer many questions that students have asked me to ask and get the answer directly from the expert. So today, let's welcome Chintan sir. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Prem sir.
Okay, so let's dive into it. So I have a lot of questions, guys, here. Hopefully, I'm going to cover everything. It looks scary. You are expert, so it should be okay. So I hope I will be answering question in right order or right way. If I make any mistake on question, please help me to
Not a problem at
answer the question properly.
And please stop calling me expert. This migration is like a big ocean, so no one can be expert. But I do my best to answer as much as I can.
Okay, so expert than me, I can say that. Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about the expert, can you please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit more your background as well, so they know whom they are listening to.
All right. So as you mentioned, I'm Chintan. I'm Chintan Dungel. By profession, I'm a registered migration agent. And I've been practicing in education migration industry actually for a while. Actually, it's been 10 years now. But as a registered migration agent, I've been practicing since 2018. So it's been almost 8 years, I believe.
Wow.
And I didn't have any law, any migration background in the past. I was normal accounting graduate, and then I've been working as an accountant. But since I was myself an international student, then I thought, why not help the other people who are coming to Australia or who are already here? So that actually motivated me to get into this industry, and I did my small law degree and then got in the profession, and I've been enjoying since then forever.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Great to hear, sir. So, who should listen to this specific episode?
Well, anyone can listen, but to be honest, someone who is willing to migrate Australia permanently and then maybe coming for a student visa or maybe other kind of sort of general visas like a families and other kind of visas. So anyone can listen who are interested in this migration war.
Okay, great, guys. So, yeah, did you hear from Chintan, sir? So, if you are planning to move in Australia or you are at some point planning to migrate in Australia, so definitely this will be helpful for you. And, guys, as I said before, I'm going to focus more in IT career pathway and also dependent visas related to IT career. And I want to deep down more into the IT field because the immigration part itself is like an ocean, as you said before, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not possible to cover everything. But what I want to do is I'll do my best to try to answer the question like I am IT students, and I'm going to you for the consultation so that anybody who is listening me, so they resonate with me.
Definitely.
And because I was IT student, I was migration immigrated in Australia as well as from the IT student to PR to citizen. So a lot of things I experienced as well, and I came into the situation where my visa got cancelled due to the carelessness of the agent as well. So I want to make sure that nobody has to go through that problem, you know.
Exactly.
So
Right.
let's try covering that part.
Mhm.
And even if you are not IT students, a lot of visa condition which we will discuss
Absolutely.
it will definitely help you. And if you need more in detail information, you can definitely contact our Chintan sir. Will definitely put his contact details somewhere in the description. So there might be some context we might not be able to dive deep due to the law and regulation thing. In that case, definitely you can reach out to him as well.
Sure.
So my very first question
Mhm.
is there a viable path for international IT students to gain PR in Australia right now?
I think, Prem, so you already answered my questions. Your question, since you are IT graduated and you are now resident, maybe citizen, so definitely you already mentioned while you questioning me, you've been through the hard time because of the negligence of someone's, but still you are IT graduate, right? So
True.
you ended up getting the PR, means definitely the new generation would be not a different from what you actually achieved.
Yeah.
However, a little bit here and there, things been changed since then. But I would say absolutely as a IT graduate, because IT occupation is sort of very unique and very particular in the sense, let's say, if you did a bachelor's of IT or master of IT, you not just become software developer or security specialist or networking or maybe developer or maybe business or system analyst, but you end up becoming wide range of occupation like ICT trainer or web developer or something like that. And there are hundreds of occupation, and most of them are on the PR list. I would say as a layman language PR list. So we have a general skill migration, different subclasses.
Yeah, we'll
However,
go deep into that.
however, uh, to sum up, yes, definitely. And to be honest, actually, it's better than other accounting and then other even the like hot cake nursing and sort of teaching occupation. You know why? If you do bachelor's of nursing, you just become nurse. But if you do IT, you
Oh,
could become anything.
Mirror.
Security, networking. So
True.
definitely, but yeah, I know there's lots of hard way to gain the final outcome, but if you be well planned and if you do the things in time with the right direction, then I would say it's not going to be that hard.
Okay, so just to quick summarize, yes, there is a PR pathway if you are currently studying IT or recently have studied IT. Okay, now let's find out how many ways are there for IT students to uh, start building that PR pathway or the dependent of the IT student. So how many different pathways are available for IT students or their partners to achieve PR?
To be honest, there are maybe numbers of ways you could probably end up having residency. However, to categorize and to be very precise, I have sort of allocated in three categories:
Great.
A, B, and C.
Let's talk about
So let's start with the A, right?
it.
So A is like it's a general skill migration. For example, you probably know what is 189 visa, what is 190 visa, and what is 491 visa, right? So these are the pathway way. As long as you have a skills, you have a degrees, you have a skill assessment, and you have a certain number of points, you're definitely gonna get your invitation and apply for residency. And this is you do on your own, on your merit basis. You don't need any employer, you don't need anyone's support, So this is purely merit basis. And those categories on GSM, we have to subcategorize. For example, 189 is sort of run by federal government directly, where you could get invitation, apply. Once you get the visa, that's definitely PR straight away, no hanky panky. And like most of the, like us, for example, networking, but software engineer, uh, programmer, system analyst, business analyst, these kind of occupations are definitely on that list.
Oh,
That means you gain the permanent residency access directly.
let's start with what is 89
189.
189 visa means, who is eligible for, and what are the key requirements for that. Let's answer these three questions.
To narrow it down, 189 visa is like a permanent residency visa.
Hmm?
It's been run by federal government directly. You could be living anywhere in Australia or even offshore. The key requirement is you must have the skill assessment and you must be invited by government to apply this visa. Let's say you're eligible, you can apply. You cannot do that. You just do the expression of interest first, and once you picked, invited, then you apply. So this is a direct PR. So once you grant it, you are done. You get a residency forever. For that, to be specific with the IT, as I mentioned before, few occupation I still remember on my head. For example, programmer, developer, software engineer, let's say network engineer, let's say system analyst, business analyst, security specialist. Those kind of IT related core occupations are on the list. So let's say if you accumulate a lot of points, for example, 90 points, 100 points, or whatever points, then you have a high chances of getting invited. However, let's say you don't have any sort of occupation I just mentioned, and you still have a loss of point, there's no chance of getting invitation. So having your occupation on that particular list, which is we call medium and long-term list, is very important, very crucial.
That's great.
So where the IT is, most of the occupations are there. That's why I'm very optimistic about the IT graduate.
Oh, that's great to know. So then what is 190 again, and then who is eligible for, what are the key requirements, and
All right. So this is the other subclass.
yeah.
So 190 and 189 is exactly same outcome. Only the difference is to apply 189, you don't have to be nominated by anyone. But for 190, it has to be coming through the state government or maybe territory government. For example, if you live in New South Wales, the New South Wales government will have to nominate you, and then they will award extra 5 points too. And then you apply this 190 visa. When you get the visa, outcome is same as 189. So it's a slightly different way. Maybe you end up getting extra 5 points,
Okay.
but end result is same. And for that particularly, it's very specific. So every state and territory, they may have their own occupation list to get invited for this 190 visa.
Okay.
But in my understanding, most of the IT occupations are there. For example, New South Wales has their own list. Last year, if you go for the last year list, this year had to be out. But if you take as a reference, the last year, most of the IT occupations were there.
Okay.
And this, I hope this will be the same.
So you're saying the new list yet to be out. That means, do they change every year?
They slightly change, but more or less the same. So how they work is, for example, the occupation are in demand, whatever they need for the New South Wales for their infrastructure or the other kind of thing, they definitely put it. And IT is one of them. IT, construction, and health. These are the kind of burning occupation for the state development. So I would say most of the IT would be included this year too.
Okay, so anybody who wants to know the list, where can they find that?
They're finding the New South Wales government the website once they're out.
Okay,
They can contact also any migration agent or any professional, but it's easily accessible. They can Google AI. Everything can be done into the right list anyway once it's out.
Okay, so what is 491 visa?
Okay, very interesting visa. So a 49 is exactly like a 190 visa, but it's not kind of a permanent residency directly. I would call this visa as a temporary permanent resident visa, because this visa comes with the kind of certainty one day you get a residency, and it comes with the Medicare as well. But it's not exactly permanent resident visa, but it's a kind of permanent resident visa. For example, you live in New South Wales, and you will be nominated by New South Wales government, and you will be awarded some extra point, like a 15 points is more than a 190. 190 only gives you 5 points extra, but that gives you 15 points. So you end up having this visa. It's also invitation based, so you will not apply until you get invited by the government. And once you apply this visa, you end up getting 5 years visa.
Okay.
So once you leave that territory or state, or maybe anywhere in the regional area, after 3 years living and working in that particular designated area, that designated means the regional area, then you end up applying 191 and you get the visa. That is the permanent resident visa.
Okay. So yeah, I heard this word saying when they nominate you, you get extra point, or government have to nominate you. What does that mean? And
Okay.
in what criteria they choose to nominate whom they want to nominate?
Well, that's a very complex area. For example, depends on state to state. We are in New South Wales. Let's focus on the New South Wales, right?
Sure.
So for example, there is a multiple options, multiple pathway for this particular visa. Let's say you are a software engineer and you living in the regional area of New South Wales. Let's say you're living in Newcastle and you're working as a software developer. That means you meet that criteria for the government. What they require is, let's say, living in New South Wales regional area for the last 6 months and working in the nominated occupation, means your occupation for last 6 months. That means you meet the eligibility. Based on that, you get nominated by the government, and then you be invited.
Okay.
So this is for instance for just for New South Wales, right?
Okay.
So other state may have a different criteria. For example, Tasmania has a different one. The Northern Territory has a different one. Victoria may have a different one. So this way, you will be nominated,
Okay.
and every state and territory have their own priority who they would like to nominate based on their requirements.
Okay. So yeah, just to touch on that requirement, do or will government nominate every single applicant?
Unfortunately, not. Let's focus on the area I've been discussing about the New South Wales 491. Let's say software developer living in Newcastle.
Right.
Let's say they open the pathway one. This is through the pathway one, right?
Okay.
So once they open, everyone will apply because it's a direct application system, right? You apply a nomination to the government, and then until they have the limitation, the quota run out, they normally invite everyone. So the tips number one is, if you are living and working there and you are eligible, once they open, the day when you apply, because it's a
Correct.
first come first serve service.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, exactly. For New South Wales. But this doesn't apply to Tasmania because they run the invitation throughout the year. But New South Wales is particularly practicing this way for the last few years. So
Yeah.
that's my experience to share everyone who is watching or listening this podcast. Uh, you gotta be prompt, be handy, be ready with all the docs you require. For instance, skill assessment should be valid, your PT, your all those things in place. And once they open, bang. So that way you're not gonna miss the
Miss-
boat.
Okay. Let's say there is only 100 quota. I don't know the number. Number may change every year. We can go in that later. Yeah, like for instance, NSW wants to open 100 quota, and 120 people just applied in the same day with all required document. So what happens with that 20? How they will be filtered out? Is that the time?
Probably the time,
Oh,
and
that's
they may filter out based on the number of points you have, on the number of experience you have, and then uh, the the occupation they actually looking
working.
for and they're looking for. For example, you are software, other person is maybe web developer, and they're more leaning towards the software. Maybe they invite
Right,
the
right, right.
software. But my personal understanding and my personal experience is normally first come first serve.
Okay. So what about like there are two applications. Last one to let's say they already selected 99 people. In last application, they have exactly same points for same reason, and one have a year of experience in software development, and another do not have year of experience. Does that gonna make?
And not really for this particular pathway.
So what about all the other paths?
Other
Okay.
pathway, yes, definitely. But this pathway particular
When you said this, are we talking about for now?
491, yeah, the
Oh,
stream one.
okay.
We're talking about only one stream right now because there are another two stream too.
Yeah.
That particular
Can you
stream,
just give a comparison? Same scenario
yes.
for path that 891, 89190, and 491. Can you give an example?
Okay, 189 already done and dusted. Nothing, no one involves. You are independent. the federal government done and dusted, right?
Yeah.
190 different subclasses, a residency visa. You get nominated by New South Wales or other government, other state or territory government, a bank, different one. There's no sub pathway, subclasses here. I mean subcategory or other allocation here. But for 491 particularly, we're talking about pathway one. The pathway one is someone living and working, right? So in that case, how it works is no matter what occupation you have, as long as you meet that criteria based, it's not like in like a point based. I say if you have 100 points, you get invited. Not like that. Or let's say if you have 100 points, but you live in Sydney, you're not living regional, you're not going to get invited.
Makes sense.
Someone who has only 65, which is a pass marks basic mark, and then living in Newcastle, working as a developer programmer, and then working with the same employer for last 6 months, only 65 points. So that versus you 100 points, still that person will be invited.
Oh,
So end of the day, it's not all about points, it's about the criteria you meet.
when it comes to 491.
Correct.
Okay. So just want to toss on that question. Also, like few of my friends were talking about this and asking me as well.
Mhm.
So somebody, let's say Michael,
Mhm.
living in Newcastle.
Mhm.
Now he's working as a software developer, but I have few different scenario. So does it matter where he lives or it matters where he works? Can he one case scenario live in Newcastle and work for the NSW company or Sydney company?
No, absolutely not. It's not going to be eligible. So
What
you
about
have to be living and working in the regional area.
what about he works from home as a remote work, but company is in city?
Normally, there's a gray area. So, if you work from home and the company is fully registered in Sydney CBD, maybe you end up getting out negative outcomes. So, normally they look the profile of the company, how long the business is running in the New South Wales, in the regional area. So, probably there's a gray area, but normally my answer is towards the no. Rather than the someone who registered there, been established there with the virtual, not the virtual, actual physical
Oh.
office there. So that really matters.
So the priority should be where you live, company should be registered within that.
Not within that proximity. It could be in the other regional areas. For example, you live in Newcastle,
And
but you work in the
well,
other, yeah, exactly.
other side of
Example, you'll still be eligible.
So that means living in regional and
Work
working in regional.
Correct.
Yeah, we had about basically in employer.
Yeah, with the regional employer.
So that is a huge benefit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, since we're talking about 491 New South Wales, I would like to add two more pathways, shortcut. For example, if you are graduated from the university or the campuses in the regional area, there is also pathway for.
Okay.
So, for example, if your ID graduated from University of Newcastle and you've been living there since, you'll be eligible for this visa too. 491.
Okay.
So there is the straight away benefit to live and study in the regional. And the third one is still there, which is free to apply by anyone who's living anywhere in New South Wales. But that visa is very rare. Chances of invitation is low, and there the point system may work the way you've been waiting for 100 points living in the CBD. In that case, you might get invited. But compared to the first and second, you would be definitely left behind.
Okay. So can you share the best case scenario you have worked or known in this kind of stream? What lesson other can learn from that best case? So amongst these multiple best case, which one is giving more PR
Mhm.
to the students, and which one is more considerably easier or better for students?
I think I've dealt many clients with the positive with the successful positive outcome. For example, I've been now almost getting ready with the files. Someone who is already living and working there. And I've been working and then being ready with all this skill assessment is updated, things are in place, and English is valid, and they have all the pay and things is going on time from employer, because there's also their salary requirement. Normally they follow this dismissed, what they call, that is like a 76,000 around per year income, which you are working as a part-time, they will do as a pro rata basis. So that kind of things I normally prepare in advance. For example, New South Wales can open anytime. They may not open until the end of the year, but they may open tomorrow. You never know. So they're just waiting for the allocations from the federal government. Once they receive these quotas and numbers, probably they, publish the criteria. And so if you be ready with this everything, then you just apply on the very first day, bang, 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 and then the chances of success is high. So that's what I exactly did last year. I would say almost 100% of my client got outcome.
Wow.
And someone who were delaying, not giving the things on time, and then still had all the eligibility, they had to miss the boat. And then what happened? They were probably on 485 visa, and then after 485, you cannot go to other student visa or any kind of other visas except some visas, and there's a big restriction now, and that means this person probably end up going back to home now
that's
because
so
there's no
last
option.
year.
So so just a timely act, and then being ready with all the valid documents is very, very crucial here.
I think that is the almost the answer that I was going to ask. Can you share a worst case scenario or none, without naming, of course, the person, where things didn't go as planned? What should other avoid that?
Yeah, I think that's I already answered. Some people did not act on time, so they run out their visa, and they don't have other visa options to go with, and then they ended up.
So you need to plan ahead.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
the just success of getting PR through this stream is pretty much the plan ahead
Exactly,
very well.
100% plan, and then you have to actually just don't rely on your migration agent too, because migration is sometimes very busy and handling thousands of people. So keep yourself up to date.
Of
Keep
course.
checking the news. Keep checking the maybe these days social media is very active. Sometimes the information comes to us through the social media before we get there any official information from our Migration Institute of Australia or other the Omara or something like that. So sometimes we get to know the information through the student because they are so active in social media. So that's a good thing. So once you get to know these things happening, you talk to your migration agent and ask to act on your behalf straight away.
That's
This is the tips. So don't go and sleep and leave everything someone's hand because end of the day your future. So I would highly recommend to be active and to be on top of the head.
Yeah, I think I want to share my story here one more time. I think I have shared this story many times, but just to validate your point, why it is important to become aware of your own circumstances and the visa condition. We should all be self-educated first. Nowadays, there is a AI tool to give you a lot of information.
Exactly.
What happened was, when I finished my degree around 2012, and there is I think only one way to go to PR pathway was either TR or I think sponsorship.
Yeah.
I think TR pathway is 485, I believe.
That's true.
Yeah. And what happened was they recently changed the requirement the way we put the application. That means previously, once you finish your degree, you just do document assessment, you provide that, and then go do IELTS, provide that. So you can keep update your document later on after making the application. But by the time I started applying, when my time is here to apply the visa, just 1 month ago, government announced that you have to provide all the document at once, and we'll take the decision based on that.
Wow.
And it was like we didn't have any active social media back then, and there is no way to get the information.
When was that?
Around 2012. 2012, yeah, around 2012, 13.
And then I was in totally different world.
Yeah, and then what happened was we just talked to each other between students, and student talks to migration agent or the consultancy, and it's just whatever people say we believe.
Yeah.
And what happened was, at that time, what we thought was, after completing the master degree, we applied the document assessment, and once we get the document assessment, we wanted to do the IELTS test. So we were planning to do in this sequential order, me and few of my friends, because we did not know the news.
Yeah, exactly.
And when we start visiting consultancies, they say we cannot apply because you don't have document. Now you need to go to another visa. And then that was kind of shock to us. And then we said there has to be another way because we never heard this. So what I thought, or we thought, what we didn't hear means That is not right.
Yeah,
Was it not right?
exactly.
Yeah. And then we went through 3 or 4 different agents, and they all said the same thing. And I didn't have much money. So me and my friend were desperate to find another way. And one just person, random person, said there is a agent. He will apply your TR without needing to go to the new application. You see, what I wanted to literally hear desperately is that I want to apply the TR, avoid expenses on my new course. But I did not realize the impact it's going to make on my visa. And what happened, that guy applied the visa, but in a way that I later on realized he applied not as through his portal,
Oh,
but
yeah,
as
oh, yeah.
and then he took cash.
Ooh, so you had no evidence.
So we have no evidence. And then because my name is like last name comes from Acharya, probably that's why the application opened fairly quick. That time the application opening time was around 1.5 year, but mine opened within 6 months with the rejection. So from there I learned very hard truth. You must have to be
I think time has been changed totally nowadays. You get to access all the information you would like to,
yeah.
but you have to be
But we need to tune ourselves open to the reality. Then
yeah.
what is my current situation? And I wanna be like this, I wanna hear like this. Instead of making one minded, we need to, I think, open for more information and like literally reach out more people and see what others say.
Correct.
Instead of just saying, I wanna do this and I wish this could happen. You know?
Yeah, migration actually very sensitive area. So one small minor mistake can cost you a lot.
Yeah,
So
that cost me at least 3 to 4 years of my life.
so you
and
learn
like
everything.
almost $100,000 probably. It put me back,
Wow.
you know.
Wow. So
And then later on, I got another visa rejected. So I don't want to go in that hole.
no,
But
totally understand.
yeah, guys, again, you don't have to trust one migration agent.
Yeah,
Right?
that's my actually suggestion.
Yeah.
Even my clients sometimes comes to me when I say something, I can read their face, right? They don't see happy, and I straight away say, okay, look, I'm not a perfect. I might have said something which is not right. So why don't you go other agents and verify my information, do some research, and come back to me and make a decision. That way I send them to others too. And they end up coming to me saying, "Oh, you were right. I wasn't happy because I did not expect that kind of
Like
advice."
I said that
Exactly. So,
because I wanted to hear something
so
else.
they were not very comfortable with the information. So I tell them always, try to be comfortable in the uncomfortable situation. That way you can tackle everything.
Is IT still consider a strong pathway for obtaining PR in Australia?
As long as you are well prepared, you've been working in your industry, and you have a good English, superior English, and then everything's on place, which you need to get invited, and then I would say yes. Because most of the occupation are on the list, which is potentially your breeze to get the residency. So I would say yes. But like there is a lot of comparison between nursing and then early childhood teaching and then other kind of social worker, that kind of occupation. But I still say that, let's say in one childcare, you need a one ECT, like early child teacher. But in one company, they might need a few IT people.
They do.
So the more sort of production in the market through the university as a graduate, and there's more opportunity in the market too. So it works in that way. So, you have to look up the both sides. The key here is, Prem sir, since you're running this kind of training or job ready program industry, I would say I'm not trying to promote you, but what I'm trying to say is uh, the key is to get into the industry. Maybe you guys are helping through your
Boot camps.
yeah, exactly. So that may help to get in touch with the potential employer, and then maybe it makes you ready to get into the job market. So in that case, I would highly recommend everyone to come and join Premshore, or maybe others similar to Premshore, or whoever you find comfortable,
Sure.
and then get fit yourself.
True.
And once you work in this area, in your nominated occupation, I think the residency would be byproduct. It will come eventually.
That's
Because I think we missed one very important part here. Once you work in an area, general skill migration, where the government is giving you the residency directly, right? But once you are qualified IT person as a developer or software or whatever you name it, then you straight away open the other door for employer sponsor visa.
Yes.
That is called 482.
Yeah, that,
Very
that's
popular.
very popular.
Very
yeah.
popular. So, and then most of the occupation are on the list.
True.
And you just not only open the gate for the employer sponsor 482 visa,
Mm.
but also you open the gate for the employer nomination scheme direct APR. So
That-
there's a direct PR pathway, what is called 186. So there's a multiple stream for that. But since you are eligible, you have a right candidates, you have a right kind of skills in all the requirement things, and you have a right kind of employer, then bang. Once the both comes together, it generates the residency.
True.
Yeah,
I always tell my student, like, you plan to get into the industry first,
exactly.
make your employer happy, become valuable assets.
Exactly.
Later on, propose them. Here's my situation. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And we have few students actually gone through that process. See?
You have a same story.
Yeah, and some of my friends circle, they also have done the exactly same thing, and they end up getting sponsorship through the company.
Perfect. So that's
And
success.
that was so huge success, and they were very, very happy.
Yeah.
So they felt like blessed
Exactly.
becoming in the industry, coming
So
into the industry.
while you're trying to collect the points through the employment, at the same time, you're going to build yourself towards the employer sponsor program as well. So if you get invited, happy days, we go celebrate, right? Cheers. If you don't, still there's a plan B to get sponsored by somebody else.
True.
So that way you kind of, managing your risk.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Do we have a data on last couple years, like how many IT graduates got PR?
I don't have the exactly data for that ID particularly, but it's still the migration quota for this financial year is also 185,000 as last year. There was a
So I'm sorry, 185,000.
185,000. Yeah,
That's a total PR.
yeah, that's great. That includes everything: family visa, sponsor visa, general skill migration visa, and all kind of visas.
All
That's the total numbers.
Okay, total.
I would say out of those,
Mhm.
last year employer sponsor visas are around 44,000.
Okay.
So out of those 44,000, I don't know how many were related to the IT.
Oh,
It must be a good chunk of percentage.
but if we go find, we can find.
It's very hard to find. We need to request for the freedom of information, that kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
because we don't know what occupation we're in, being sponsored by somebody else. But
Okay.
that is accessible. But I believe there's a good numbers. And if we go with skill independent visa, we talked before as a 189. There were some invitation for IT too last year.
Oh, okay.
And then there is 491, and then the state nominated 190. Absolutely, there were a lot of people invited last year.
Okay.
So I believe it's a good chunk of people were invited through the IT. But if you would like, I could probably find some data somewhere, and then we could share to our the audience.
Sure, I think if you can,
yeah, why not?
maybe we can try to include as much information in the description as possible.
And other tips is equally important. Every state and territory get sort of numbers from the federal government.
Okay.
Where they spend for 190 and 491, right? So for example, we are lucky we live in New South Wales. We got last year probably we had a 3,000 for 190 and around 2,000 for 491.
Oh, wow.
Which is almost like a 5,000 plus, right? But in the meantime, don't forget we had a large number of applicants too. True. So where there's a big quota allocated, there's big numbers of applicants too.
True.
So this way you have to be very smart, Maybe other states, small state like Tasmania or somewhere, maybe less number of quota were allocated, but in the meantime, less competitive.
True.
So that way you plan. So you always get your agency.
But first, I need to get ready.
Exactly. So this, which is very important.
So I just want to go back and touch up in this TR pathway, which 485 visa.
Yeah, that is 45 visa. This is normally given to you once you complete your study.
And then we apply for the T.
Yeah, you apply.
So
yeah.
I have two questions in there. So first thing, I recently understand or learned there are different TR duration for different countries.
Oh, yeah.
Application. Do you have anything to share for our listener if they are
Absolutely.
it's
It's not like a huge difference. There is a very funny way. For example, if you are from India and you did some sort of master's degree here, you end up getting 3 years TR.
That's a lot.
In general, we call TR is a temporary visa.
Temporary.
You end up getting 3 years, right? But you did the same degree, but you hold the passport of Nepal, you only get 2 years. I don't know what makes the difference, but
Yeah, let's
but-
not get into the politics.
but
now,
but
yeah?
there's some sort of trade agreement between India and Australia.
So that's all the
maybe
yeah. Let's not go in there.
but
Which country have the highest TR visa? Is that Hong Kong? I heard like
no, Hong Kong and United Kingdom, they have a specific provision. Then
right.
they end up getting probably 5 years.
Wow, that's
Because
almost a PR.
almost like the PR. But the thing is that there are very less candidate coming from that reason and applying temporary graduate visa.
Yeah.
So they wanted to sort of attract them and then
because-
try to boost the the applicant from that reason. Maybe that's the way they kind of offering long-term temporary graduate visas so that people can come from that reason rather than only from our part of the region, Nepal, India, or
yeah, so they wanted to
Bangladesh.
bring
Yeah.
some.
They wanted to probably more diversify sort of thing. Besides that, rest of the countries are pretty similar. But one thing I have to tell you, Prem, sir, it also depends what you studied. For example, if you studied the vocational program, like let's say in easy language, let's say you studied commercial cookery or motor mechanics, and then bricklaying, maybe cabinet making, that kind of degree also allow you to obtain that temporary graduate visa,
Okay.
where you end up getting only 1.5 years.
Oh, really?
Months,
Okay.
yeah. But higher education, for example, bachelor's or master's, probably you're gonna get 2 years.
Okay.
And if you do further higher, maybe 3 years, 4 years.
Okay. So, but it can be changed.
This can be changed. And to be specific for IT, that called STEAM, STEM, where they, if you study something masters of IT related something
Mhm.
by research, not just a regular master coursework, research, then you also end up getting extra 5 points towards the migration. So IT is that valuable. See, there's another example. So IT is not undermined here. IT is definitely part of the demand.
It is.
So that's why the government is kind
country
of more.
yeah,
Exactly, exactly. It says you know better than me for that area.
So one more thing I want to touch, like like let's say we discuss about there are a few thousands IT probably students got the PR.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if you have this information or allowed to even say it, but does it matter for a government to give PR based on which country they are coming from?
Probably not, Prem, sir, because it's the end of the day merit-based system. If you have a higher point, you get invited.
Yeah.
And you end up applying.
So it could be, let's say, 90% people from one country, 10% from another country.
It can be through the general skill migration because it's based on the point system. But maybe
I'm just curious.
yeah, maybe that's why they sort of make a rule for a certain country. For example, if you go through the employee sponsor visa, for example, if you from Nepal, just for instance, or India, and you are working as a cook or chef, to apply that employer sponsor visa, you probably need a skill assessment. So unless there is exemption, if you study here or there's other criteria, you might get exempted. But if you are applying the same occupation as a cook or chef, and you from let's say England or UK or maybe Germany or maybe Italy, then you don't need that skill assessment. So that's how they try to control the exactly. So maybe they wanted to push back Nepal and attract the Italy or maybe European country or maybe other South American country. That's
through the application, but once it goes in the system,
exactly.
so they most probably just go with the first serve or other criteria.
Exactly. But for general skill migration, let's say if you are invited for 90 points and all the other citizens from other part of the world only have a 70 points and all the Nepalese or Indian, they have a 90 points, then it's system generated. You get invited, you invited.
Yeah.
That's my understanding, unless there is something inside. So
Yeah, that was just a curious.
it's very fair. It's very fair system for general skill migration.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Okay, what are the specific job titles or roles should IT graduate aim for
I think you know better than me.
in terms of the PR part?
But look, It's very funny, Prem sir. For instance, you are IT support analyst, for example, your title, right? And you've been supporting for system related or business related, you end up getting PR for system analyst. At the same occupation, you may be helping towards the business, then you probably end up getting PR through the business analyst.
Yeah, there is a lot of like skills overlap between
Exactly.
skills.
And the same position, you mostly do the primary job as like a programmer or software developer or engineer. You do more about this developing thing. Even though the title is IT support analyst, you end up getting PR through the programmer or developer or maybe software engineer. So end of the day, what is your title doesn't really matter. What you do really matter. So if we go and score the alignment between every occupations of IT, each occupation has a specific roles and duties, right? As long as you perform that duties and roles, you end up getting invited through that particular occupation. So
the reason I wanted to point this out is that many IT graduates they don't even know these job titles they should be in for, and they don't even know how many jobs available within IT. There's hundreds.
okay, I give you very good tips. Go to ACS. ACS means Austro Computer Society, where you get all the list of the occupation and check where you would like to work in. For example, through the responsibility. If you are aiming to become a software developer, try to work those responsibilities. That's it. End of the day, your title doesn't really matter.
But what about the document assessment? I heard like what you study have to have some certain units in order to get your document assessed.
All right, you raise a very good points. Yeah, that's true. For
That
example,
like you can really work for any job.
yeah, that's true. You raised a very $1 million question. So, for example, you studied networking. You all these 12 or whatever the 16 units are relating to all this networking, right? And you go somewhere else and start working as a system analyst. So probably you have a skill assessment as a network engineer and you work as a system analyst. Probably
It's not gonna
you're
align.
not gonna get the points for migration.
Yeah,
Unless
that's my
unless you apply for a skill assessment for that occupation too. So it has to be aligned. That's true. But my understanding, most of the IT graduate can end up getting system and business analyst skill assessment, and as long as they work in that area, should be fine. And most of the responsibility are overlapping each other. So end of the day, if you're working as a software, then you apply programmer is still the same, or developer is still the same. So kind of true, but you don't have to worry too much.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
So they
But the tips is always try to work on that particular area of the unit you studied in the university or colleges.
Yeah.
So try to stick with that area. It would be absolutely the
safe. So for what I usually suggest to my son is that just to be in safe side, if you just pull out all your what you call
units here.
and then ask like the consultancy or my agent like you can quickly check in and say you can be entitled for this role 3 to 5.
Yeah,
You'll tell. And then you use that job title and then you start planning for that further. Or I think even course coordinator would know that.
Exactly.
So just reach out to them.
If you are a little bit smart, very easy. If you go the university website where you studied and you see the end of the browser or something, they're normally given as a career outcome where you can find all these things.
Like we also do.
Exactly. So
If you study then you have like 5-7 different job title you are qualified for.
normally most of the university publish that way as a career outcome. What would become if you would do these things? So it's pretty straightforward.
But yeah, many students do not realize that and how important.
I think you need to go and check this thing. If you are still confused, we are here to help, or somebody can help.
Reach out your migration agent or reach out your course coordinator.
Exactly.
And do you put effort in right direction? That's what I want to say.
Exactly. But you know what? The most of the bachelor's programs are a mix of everything, Prem sir. For example, bachelor's is the 3 years program, and they put a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Design.
They blend everything, right? In that case, don't just follow that career outcome, follow your dream. For example, you wanted to become a software developer. Why would you go and work as a security specialist? Maybe you end up doing not that good because you don't have an interest.
It makes
And
sense.
so this way you have to change your dream as well, dream job or whatever the dream plan you have in the back of the mind. So listen to your mind and then heart. That is also important. That's why you will end up doing the outstanding outcome.
True.
So that is also important.
I think just to summarize that, what sir just said is that find out the job roles that you can work on it and choose which one is your dream role and follow your passion.
Exactly.
It will give you a better career, happiness in the life, and probably help you in your pathway as well. So now my question is next, how does the type of employment, part-time versus full-time, impact the PR application?
Well, that's another good questions actually. If we're talking about just migration, general skill migration area, even though you work 20 hours, it's
Fun.
still per week, it's still even the 24 hours now legally allowed even while you're in student visa, uh, you could end up getting still the same points in the 1 year time, right? The 5 points if you work 1 year here, right? So no matter you work 38 hours or 20 hours, you end up getting the same points.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
good.
if you work like 40 hours, you're not gonna get 10 points instead of 5. It's not double off. So that is absolutely no impact on general skill migration, working part time and full time. However, for the employer sponsor visa, let's say if you work part time and then to be eligible to apply any certain sort of occupation to apply employer sponsor visa, normally most of the cases you need a 1 year full time work experience.
That's
So in that,
in part-time, full-time.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So in that case, if you work full time, 1 year, 12-month bang, right?
Mhm.
But if you work part time, maybe you need to have work experience of 2 years because they prorata that way. So in that case, there is a difference in some situation. So if you can, always work full time. If you are legally allowed, you are on a working visa.
My question is for those who is now, let's say, finish bachelor degree and then because they don't have enough visa, if they go for TR, so just to extend their visa duration, they go for master degree and then they come to study with us to get the job and they get like part-time software developer role.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
That's
so
absolutely fine for migration.
okay,
If,
that's
if they get a part-time software role,
yeah.
you end up getting 5 points in 1 year time. If you keep on working for 3 years, you get 10 points, and
Yes.
it goes the way it goes.
Yeah, so that means all good to
Yeah,
go
all
with
good,
it.
absolutely good.
Okay, that's great. So the other day I was talking to one of my old students. He went to regional. He basically opened up a company, and then he's making money, of course, from the company. And then he put himself as a employee, as a IT, because if you are a software developer, you can do freelance. You can make a lot of money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like, how can we use that skill or that part of the um, business system to gain the experience? Is it
As long as you working in the role in legal way,
who is
doesn't matter which company, as long as the company is
paying?
somehow doing that kind of service, is fine. For example, if you open the grocery store in the regional area and you start working as a software developer, does it make sense?
No.
No. So it has to be aligned.
Yeah.
Uh,
But say if you open ABC software development company
and then you're
it,
giving exactly that service and working for yourself, that experience should absolutely be fine.
and
No doubt.
as you said before, like just even working for 6 months allow you to go to stream one
Yeah.
when you work.
Correct.
So that sounds like really amazing.
That's amazing. But as a disclaimer, that was for last year. This year may change.
Uh,
But normally the New South Wales government do not change drastically. Normally, here and there they kind of remix this stuff. But normally the notion of the rules would be still the same. And we had a couple of conferences with the New South Wales investment and the government, and then they kind of gave a hints. It's going to be pretty much similar to last year. So that pathway would be my favorite, to be honest.
if I'm really good as software engineer, I can do some freelancing to make earn money for the company, and I become my own employee of the company and run the payload.
You could
payroll
do
from-
that. There's some other criteria to be met. For example, certain salary to be earned.
Yeah.
and then the company has to be in this area, and then doing
That can be manual.
that can be possible. Yeah.
What advice would you give it to someone currently studying IT in Australia?
Firstly, keep doing what you're doing, and follow your passion, and then dream. And if the study is not too much for you now, and you have some space time, then probably start doing your English examination like IELTS and PT. Try to score superior English, and then there's another way of gaining more migration points. For example, community language, native CSOL they call. Start giving the exams, and try to make yourself ready. Once you graduate, you would have enough points to apply residency. So don't be very negative minded saying, okay, IT is hard, or what can I do after graduating. So rather than thinking that way, prepare yourself and then try to get into the workforce as soon as you graduate, and then you end up getting 5 points in 12 months time, and then by then you would be scoring all the points available, and then you would be on the top of the range, and then probably you would end up getting invited.
That's great. Yeah, just to add on to that, guys, as Sarah said, try to get into the workforce. That means don't prepare to get into the workforce after completing the degree. So you need to well start from the beginning how to get into the industry. It's okay to work in IT industry while you're studying.
And that's even better advice. And in some cases, if you are doing MIT, you must have done BIT in your home country.
True.
And that education is already good enough.
Mm.
Some students, even they have numbers of experience in their home country. I give you a very good examples. Someone from subcontinent, that person has a plenty of experiences. He came for master program. He worked so many years after bachelor's program,
Mm.
and he came here. He found the job, and the employer was quite big and very happy with his performance and everything. And he ended up sponsoring him.
Awesome.
While on the student visa, he ended up having this 1 year 6, which is a permanent residency. So that can be you tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you have work experience from your home country, I would say during your study, you could potentially apply skill assessment through the ACS,
True.
and potentially even apply for expression of interest, and you might end up getting the nomination or the visa or whatever the invitation. So don't wait until you graduate. As
True.
you mentioned,
Mm.
act on time
True.
and be qualified.
Yeah,
So
that's why like my always mindset is that we have to work anyway. We are not just
Mm.
going to university and
Mm.
studying all the time. If like I used to do cleaning kitchen hand and warehouse, that's the
Mhm.
thing. If I have to work in something, I would rather work in IT,
Exactly, right?
right?
Yeah.
You guys can do it too. So, but you need to start preparing yourself.
Maybe
Don't wait from like what I mean is like don't wait until you finish the degree and then only start getting job ready, then apply. So don't be too late.
maybe you don't start straight away as a developer or something. Maybe you start with something small and gradually grow.
Or you spend time learning from job ready program like
Exactly.
us or somebody else.
Yeah, they are fantastic programs running by so many people, and like you, and you yourself is also doing fantastic, and you have so many success stories.
So that we have students
Yeah, exactly.
actually working part-time software developer while they studying. So you could potentially do that too. So
Exactly.
you start getting ready
Yeah.
while studying in
Yeah,
IT.
exactly.
Okay, that's great. I want to quickly thoughts something in here. It's actually happened to one of my students. He last time came and talked to me. Um, he completely recently completed bachelor degree, and when he went back to his consultancy or migration agent, they say there is no literally future with IT. Either his friend who already completed IT degree or his agent. I'm not quite sure, but message was
Mm-hmm.
he was told, don't worry about IT. You just finish that, forget about it now. Either go to Tasmania
Mm-hmm.
and or also study, change the study,
Mm-hmm.
go to early childhood and another one the what's it? Nursing. So not only one I have heard this from many students.
No, no,
So what is it going on in the
it
market?
is somehow true if you are not planned ahead, So, for example, if you are not fully prepared to score, high range of point like superior English and other things, and obviously your job in the area, then probably you not end up getting the outcome you're looking for. So in that case, you might go ahead and the other maybe easy occupations, nursing, and then use childcare, whatever you mentioned. But end of the day, said it, even though you go to the other occupation, you don't get a superior English, you're still not gonna be invited. So what's the point? So the point here is, if you plan ahead, if you get into job market, if you get a superior English, and if you start working in your occupation, I would say you should stick with ID. So uh, let's say every IT graduate start doing the same thing. What happens to IT market tomorrow?
Yeah,
It will be crashed,
true.
and the demand would be sure. So in that case,
And then other side, the demand
it would be there's a law of demand.
and then
The
yeah,
more
supply and demand.
supply you have, the demand sort of things. I mean, the demand would be less for sure.
True.
So this is a kind of applicable for few applicants maybe who depends on their own circumstance, but I wouldn't generalize this. This is the good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so too, because he already spent few years,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
40, 50,000. I don't know how much it costs now. And now you're just switching it. I think that's,
Those people are right by maybe leaving the Sydney and going somewhere in the regional area where the maybe 491 pathway is much easier compared to staying in Sydney. That is definitely one of the many solutions. But changing the stream entirely from IT to something else probably not suitable for everyone.
yeah.
While you studying IT and working in the support sector, probably you fall in love with that job. In that case, maybe makes sense.
Yeah.
But just to get the residency, if you start doing this way, probably not many people will get the outcome they desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, we all understand, guys.
Mm.
PR is definitely is a first priority,
Mm.
but let's plan ahead so that we don't have this unwanted situation coming ahead.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So, what advice do you want to give to someone who is planning to come to Australia to study IT?
Well, the same thing applies. So plan ahead. If you have a degree going on in Nepal or India or somewhere else, try to finish some degrees, finish it. Even work couple of years and then come as a skilled migrant. That's another suggestion. And then if you don't have that kind of privilege, then probably try to find uh, the university or colleges in the regional area so that you end up getting extra 1 year temporary graduate visa. We're talking about 2 years before, right? So if you study in the regional area, you might get it 3 years, right? So extra 1 year means too much for you. And it's a big opportunity. You know why? Because within this 1 year, you can change your life.
True.
So, yeah, definitely try to focus on the regional campuses, and then um, pretty much the day you arrive, start looking the job in the area as much as possible, and maybe get connected the people like you where you can upgrade your skills and then the practical sort of knowledge is in the area, and keep chasing your dream. So
Sure.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, my advice here would be like if you are coming to Australia to study IT, it's definitely gonna take few months on preparation, right?
Yeah.
So become skill qualified on few IT role. The easiest one to become is like universal language programming. Become really good programmer and get into software engineering. Now learn some AI use cases, tools, and then bring that skill with you, and you will be more employable.
Exactly.
Look for that roles and start looking for a cleaning role like we did back in days.
Exactly.
So make that priority. That will help your life so much.
Exactly.
That
IT is more these days, like kind of not like a old school kind of job. You have to go physically in the office, work in person. So this is very kind of high-tech world these days.
Yeah, it's
Guys, you guys better know that than
one of
so,
few of my students actually works for international company,
so see,
UK, USA,
and they live in Australia.
yeah.
So see,
That's so much freedom.
this is so much privilege.
Yeah.
So
Gain the skills, guys, wherever you are.
yeah.
Okay, so guys, we are on the kind of close to the end.
I think we've done too much, you know.
I
The
guess
people
so.
get bored.
But still, is there anything important that we didn't cover that you'd like to add?
Probably, look, end of the day, don't come here to just to study and gain the migration pathway, you know. Chase your dream first, you know, and then migration is like a byproduct. You're gonna get it. Trust me. It sounds so. You might say, oh, he already is PR or something like that, so it's easy to talk that way. But end of the day, if you follow your passion and dream badly, you know, that thing will come as a byproduct. Trust me.
Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah, that happens. And other thing is always plan ahead. Stay on top of this competitive war, especially right now, since there are so many months, the 189 and then other kind of invitation were not there for especially IT graduate. So I would assume, you know, there's a big number of people's are waiting. A big number of people are waiting for uh, the invitation round, you know. And so in that case, you have to put yourself into that competitive ace and then be on top of the everyone by scoring higher English, superior English, you know, collect all the available points. If you are married, and then make sure your dependent also qualified, get English done, and then this skill assessed, you know. So that way you always be on top of this competitive board. So I think there's no magic tricks. End of the day, your hard work, your plan is end of the day gives the outcome you desire for.
True. It's just like pretty much open blueprint path. It's like who is planning better
Exactly.
is getting faster.
And hard work for sure.
Yeah, hard work.
It's not easy nowadays. It's not easy. Trust me. It's not like back those days. Back those days were also hard, but
We had our own struggle.
Exactly.
There is
So-
now new
Exactly. So, and it is also important to study in a regional area these days, you know, so you end up having extra time to plan for the migration planning on the temporary graduate visa. So there's so many tricks, you know, depends on your own situations too. So, but planning is important.
The last topics I forgot to cover. So there is a new word just buzzing around from last year called CSOL.
Oh, CSOL, yeah. That's
Can you talk a little bit about that and what is that means and who are impacted by that?
okay. It is nothing new, Prem. So it's exactly the occupation list for the employer sponsor visa.
It's
Purely, yeah, CSOL is purely for that, and where you apply for 482 and 106 kind of visas. And those lists were revised. Some occupations are added, some occupations are removed. For example, restaurant manager used to be very popular and then no longer there. So you know, so this is a kind of number of occupations presented there to apply for employer sponsor visa, and nothing to do with this 189, 190, or 491 general skill migration visa, because they have their own occupation list. So that is called medium and long term strategic list, which is totally different than the list you're talking about. So don't get confused between these two lists. Actually, they are two separate things.
Okay, so just to summarize that, if you are planning for sponsorship, maybe this is something you want to find out more about it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I think don't worry.
And you know, good news, many IT occupations are there. So there you go. So who says IT is not in demand? Absolutely in demand.
Yeah, but are you ready for it?
But are you ready for it? Do you have 1 year experience? Do you have a certain qualification? Do you have a certain employer? So if all the things are tick, 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 then life is ticked.
That's that's easy to say. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice to every international IT students dreaming to stay in Australia long term, what that would it be?
What's the plan? You plan ahead, you know, try to get the job in the area. The job is crucial here because once you get into the industry, probably you end up getting extra point. Plus, you might end up getting sponsorship from someone, and then you might end up staying here forever.
Wow.
Or even the worst case scenario, if you have to go back, or you might go back some other countries or your home country. That's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Then this Australian experience can make
Really.
you always on top of the competitive edge, on
True.
top of the range. So you can be, you can sell yourself anywhere in the globe. So
Yeah.
anywhere in the universe. So uh, the main thing is keep chasing your dream, whatever you want to become. Don't just follow something which your friend says, or some migration agent says, or some education consultant says. Don't follow that. Just follow your dream, and then the rest of the things comes as a byproduct.
Amazing, guys. Plan, 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 and find the right person to take a feedback from, and then redefine or refine your plan until you succeed. I think that's what I learned throughout this entire podcast.
So yeah, but there is no magic, magic stick. So and
I think Warren Buffett said once, I think that's this statement came from him. The stupid person with the plan can beat to the smartest person without the plan.
exactly.
So yeah,
And
plan
I,
is
I was actually listening the podcast the other day, um, and then the gist of the entire the conversation was, if you put yourself in the situation where you feel uncomfortable and you start being comfortable in that situation, you are achieving something.
that's
Yeah, exactly. So so that involves so many things. It's a very very complex area, but that gives you so much learning and experience, and try to tackle in any kind of hard time in your life.
I always ask my guest, if you have any question for me, I'm happy to answer if I can.
Uh, yeah, why not? I would probably ask, since you've been helping so many IT graduates to make them dream come true, while you chasing their dream to make it happen, in this process, what is your own dream to achieve at the end?
Okay.
Why you helping so many graduates to make them dream come true, and what is your dream while making this happen?
Okay, that's amazing question. Especially the way you ask. Okay, so
Something in my mind,
so my dream is to create 1 million engineer of the future. That's anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, because that's so to take.
How many you've done so far?
Not even 0.0001% now. You better go along. Yeah, I am ready for it. That's why I'm 100% driven by that. And the another reason why I even started, what I started doing it is that when I came to Australia to study IT, I was already good programmer back in days, and Australia was still growing in the tech sector, and it was extremely hard for me to even live here. I share my story all the time. I think people start getting bored by listening my story now, the struggle I have gone through, and then the life I had, and I couldn't get the job I wanted, but I never setback. I never felt frustration or giving up. Only I always thought that I haven't found the right person to talk about it, and I was keep pursuing, and it took me 4 5 years to get the job I wanted to work, even if I had the skills. And that happened later on. I realized that because of the people I was surrounding with, and I did not have a right mentor. And now, coming back after many years working in the tech industry in Australia, I know how important these roles are and how easy to get into the industry, and why not everybody should pursue their dream. And if I can help them to do that, then I am basically making some dent in this art.
Yeah.
So that is my dream, to help complete others' dream to build their career in tech industry.
Fantastic.
So that's my dream.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, and then best wishes to make this happen. It looks very ambitious dream, but that's what I say to everyone. So if this man can have a dream, why not you can? So end of the day, uh, it comes your hard work to make it happen.
That's true.
So yeah, always dream high, and then work on it to make it happen. That's very simple.
That's very powerful message.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No
for
problem.
coming
Thanks
again.
for having me.
Thank
Good
you.
to meet you.
Thank you
I'll see you once you hit the 1 million again.
for sure. Hey guys, thank you for staying all the way to the end with me. I hope you found tons of valuable information from the expert. Now, guys, take the information and do your homework and apply to it. Reach out to the right people. Build your dream career, build your Australian dream by planning. And again, thank you again for staying all the way till the end. And if you found this podcast valuable, can you please do me a favor? Share this podcast to someone who needs it. And also do like, comment, and share. It will help me to grow my channel and I can bring more valuable information for you guys. And if you can write 3 key points that you took from this podcast, write it in the comment. I would read personally and then I'll appreciate. Thank you again. I'll see you next.